2020 is here, therefore the expensive driver beauty pageant may begin. Who's gonna win? Whose do I like the most? And should we even care? They might make them lighter, they might make them more aerodynamic, so you could swing the head faster. But for ball speed to swing speed, impossible that is going to increase. Guys, how you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. Simon down here at Burford Golf Lab, and since I've been away for the last 2 weeks with my newborn baby girl, obviously I've seen the leaked photos. It's funny how these things get leaked every year, and obviously the adverts and the advertisement have then since come out since the start of January, mainly for Callaway, TaylorMade and Cobra. And one of the big issues I want to talk about is, what are these even going to give you for your golf game? As you know, my channel is based around getting great value for your golf game and buying something that's going to suit your game, not just buying something expensive because of the marketing. There is a time and a place, and obviously I'm a club fitter myself, and I see obviously the advantage of once you put the hours into your game, you get to a certain level, custom fitting is important. However, in this video I want to talk about the 3 main drivers that are coming out this year, or 3 main manufacturers. Obviously you have got Mizuno and you have got Strixon and you have got Ping. Ping aren't bringing out something new this year, they've got the G410. But what I want to talk about is the 3 main drivers that are coming out this year: TaylorMade Sim, Callaway Maverick, and then obviously the Cobra Speed Zone, and give you a bit of an idea of what you could expect from these drivers, because it's kind of same old year from year. What can they actually improve? Because they can't improve ball speed as much as they like to tell you. The faces are as thin as they can be, they're hot as they can be, and obviously some of the tour players even got pulled up this year because their faces weren't conforming. Therefore, how are they making these drivers any better? And should you even be considering going and getting fitted for one of these drivers in 2020? That's a lot of words. Let's get into it. Now, before I get into this video, I want to do an experiment. If price wasn't an option, which driver would you get? Callaway, Cobra or TaylorMade? So obviously watch the video, look at the pictures, look at the advertisement, get my views. Which one would you pick? And then please comment down below, because I want to do a bit of an experiment on, well, I'm going to keep that a bit of a secret. I'm going to do that in a later video. As well as that, write down what do you think the most expensive price is going to be for a driver this year. Now, I slated TaylorMade last year because the M5 came out at $499 retail on their website. Obviously it came down to $450, same as the Epic Flash, and obviously Titleist. $450 was the going mark for a premium, low spinning, high launching or lower launching depending on your swing driver, which is an extraordinary amount of money, especially as the price of those have basically halved over the course of a year. Do we hit the £500 mark this year? What do you think the most expensive club is going to be this year? Is it going to stay there? How much is going to drop? And then obviously, as I said at the start, please comment which one, if money was an option, which brand are you going for? Callaway, TaylorMade or Cobra? And I haven't really told you which one I fitted more for, or I favoured this year in 2019, so I will get into that. Ping G400, even though it's been out for 2 years now, and I'm pretty sure Ping are going to be coming out with a G400 whatever, it was a great driver. If someone came in here and goes, Simon, I don't know what I want, Ping is a great start for slow swing speed, high swing speed, just average, good shafts. 349 for the G400 as well. Well, it came down to about 320. For me, as a club fitter, I was very comfortable fitting for it, and the Epic Flash was my standalone favourite driver that I wanted to hit. Just the way it was. I love the Epic, just standard Great Big Bertha as it was. And to be honest, I couldn't really see the difference between the two in terms of sound and feel. I feel like the Epic Flash looked better. The shafts were definitely better this year with the hazardous smoke. So if I had to go top list, favourite driver for me, it was the Epic Flash. And then obviously to fit for everyone else, Ping G400 took the winner. So I'm going to start with Cobra, and obviously they released the Speed Zone, and I applauded Cobra last year. I gave it a great review, mainly because they kept the price at $349, and it's going to be interesting to see where the price of this Speed Zone goes. Does it increase? They increase their market share a tremendous amount, especially in the UK. I'm not too sure about the rest of the world, but I know for 100% they grew within the UK, their market, because of reviews from like Rick Shields and the testing and the price point. I think it was a perfect combination. It was something new, and I like Cobra because they bring out something new to the market that's not just speed. Now, I'm gonna show you the advert obviously in the corner here with Ricky, and you can't not like Ricky, but I don't like the advert, mainly because they're just going on speed and faster and faster. And I know as a club fitter, you can't make it faster. You can make the head somewhat lighter, the more carbon, and I think you'll see this a lot in the new drivers. There's more and more carbon, and they could have made a full carbon driver by now, but obviously from year to year, they're gonna keep releasing more carbon, more carbon, more carbon. So they can make it lighter, and they can change the center of gravity in the head, make it lower. They can move the moment of inertia, the MOI. These are the things they can improve legally. They can improve these things, and all that's going to do is give you a higher launching ball with less spin, i.e. more distance, as well as shaft options. And that's something in technology wise, I think over the next 10 years, we're going to see a massive R&D splurge from these companies into shafts, because that's kind of the only thing they can look at. They need to make it lighter, they need to make it feel better, more forgiving. And the reason that I'm not quite a big fan of the advertising side of the Speed Zone is it's kind of like Shrek 2. Shrek 1 was fantastic. They've kind of just brought out the same and said this one's going to be faster and quicker. Obviously I haven't hit it, but I've been doing this for 10 odd years, and I'll be very surprised if that mile-an-hour jump has somehow come from nowhere, and obviously their advertisement is going into that speed aspect. I have to say the Cobra Speed Zone does look better than the old previous model, but I did a video 2 months ago. You can get the F9 for near on about 150, 180 pounds in mint condition. That's a great bargain for a great driver. The only problem is you're not going to get fitted for it, and you don't know what kind of condition it is when it arrives, depending on where you get it from. Hence why club fitting is always going to be around. Moving on to Callaway, which again has been one of my favourite brands to work with and play with over the years with the Maverick. And I feel like this is a step back from them, mainly from the looks point of view. Leave me a comment down below. What do you think the looks of it? I know looks isn't everything, but let's be honest. When it comes down to drivers, I could fit any one person into any manufacturer. If they came to me and said, Simon, I am a Titleist player through and through, RB guy, perfect. TS1, 2, 3, 4. Simon, I love Ping, perfect G410, G400, G400 Max. You get the idea. Therefore, this is why I call it a 2020 beauty pageant, because when you're going through and you're going, Simon, I want to spend a bit of money on a driver that I want fitted for me to use over the next 10, 15 years, I'm going to go on looks. It's just the way it is. Therefore, the Maverick, I feel like they struggle with their non-sliding weight designs. I wasn't a big fan of the look on the Rogue, to be perfectly honest. I love the way the Epic Flash looked. I love the way the Great Big Bertha Epic looked. When it comes down to their non-adjustable, high forgiving, high launching, basically their higher handicap, slower swing player club, even though this one's still marketed to go first, farther and longer, I do feel like they struggle, and they've come out with this Maverick concept. It's brown and it's black, and even though I didn't think it was going to work for the G400, it definitely won me over, and when I see one in the flesh, maybe I might be wrong. However, looks is a big thing, and it'd be interesting to obviously test it. Again, Callaway are going down the distance marketing option, which is understandable. Everyone loves the idea of distance, 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 but 9 times out of 10, when someone comes to a club fit for me and I go, what do you want from your new driver? Distance is normally the second option. They want to get rid of their bad shot. And obviously you can do that with different head designs and different shafts, different torque, different flexibilities, so on and so on. Very rarely do they go, Simon, I want 30, 40 more yards. They are realistic. I feel like people are educated now. And obviously the marketing strategy, again, for Callaway is more distance. Defies distance, the Maverick driver. And obviously, when you look at the advertisement, it emphasizes the AI. They used a lot of AI to design the Epic Flash. That's why the design of the Epic Flash is the way it is. The face has got a weird combination of like thickness around the face, so you get maximum ball speed across the whole of it. Again, imagine they're using this for the Maverick driver. But the big but, and we'll get on to TaylorMade in a minute, with their sim driver, is every year we're getting the same. This is the best. Last year, best combination for the face. So are they just using the same face and putting in a Maverick driver, lighter head, more CG further back to get more launch for that slower swing speed? I imagine that's a combination. I imagine that's going to be the tech sheet that they're going to send out when it does finally get released. But I'm just a bit disappointed, like I was with the Rogue, with the actual aesthetics of the driver. Callaway makes some beautiful looking clubs, especially irons, especially wedges. Big fan of the Epic Flash. I personally feel a bit let down from the appeal and the looks and the aesthetics of the Maverick driver, as I do feel like it's a step back when it comes to the marketing or whoever came up with the idea and concept. But that is my opinion. Let me know your thoughts down below. And lastly, the TaylorMade Sim driver. And with all that carbon in the crown and the bottom and all over the driver head, you might be thinking, Simon, is it going to stand up to the durability test? Well, thankfully, Dustin Johnson kindly showed us that even hitting against a wooden sign, it can stand up to the strain. So obviously I went in on TaylorMade last year, especially with their speed injected whatever into the face, saying this is fastest legally possible, which to be honest it has been for a long time regardless. But I'm a big fan of the look and the aesthetics of the Sim driver. Obviously I'm biased because it's got my first 3 letters of my name on the bottom of the face, but I feel like it's combined the looks of the M2 2016 driver, which is my personal favourite. It's in the dream bag, etc, etc, and also it's got the power and I feel look of an SLDR low spin driver. Now, what I should say is the one thing when it comes to the advertisement that TaylorMade have previously released on their Instagram page is, we are trying to improve you to get better at golf. It's not about distance. And obviously they had to go down that route because they said last year this is the fastest thing we could produce. So they can't say this is now the fastest thing. So I can understand why they've gone down that route. But for me as a club fitter, that's the message we should be telling people when they come for a club fit or even a lesson. We want something, or we want to help you enjoy the game more, but improve your game. It's not all about distance, it's about your bad shots. We all have bad shots, and if you have a destructive bad shot, a massive slice, a massive duck hook, whatever it is, that is costing you shots. You don't get points for good looking shots. You don't get points for one great shot. There's no point coming into me and telling me, Simon, I had a great drive down 17, but I had 4 snap hooks and 2 OBs. They're the ones I'm concerned about, and I want a driver or woods or irons that are gonna help those shots. You play better golf when you've got a good bad shot, rather than having a great good shot. You might hit this massive draw, 40 yards right to left, and it goes a mile, but then you have this massive block and snap hook. That's no use. Therefore, the advertisement of TaylorMade this year, let's make you better at golf, is something I can stand behind. Now, it's going to be an extraordinarily expensive driver. I don't know the retail, and as I said, leave a comment down below what you think this thing's going to retail at. But the overall look of the driver and the streamlined set makeup as a club fitter, and I know your guys are not all club fitters, but I hated having 2 different driver heads of an M5 and an M6 and an M4 and an M3. For a club fitter, you feel like you're fitting for 2 different drivers. I need one shaft that's going to suit a typical player, and then I'm going to go Sim Max D to get that perfect loft combination, ball flight and everything else. Unfortunately, the M5 and M6 are just 2 different beasts, so you're almost doing 2 different club fits altogether. I like the Ping route they've gone down, and they've basically copied Ping, and I don't blame them, because Ping, to be perfectly honest, they don't spend an enormous amount on marketing like Callaway and TaylorMade do. But I think Ping have crushed it for the last 2 years, especially with the Ping G400, the LST head, the Max head, great driver heads, clean, sounded great, price point was there. I can see why, and I know TaylorMade would be like, oh, this has been in product development for ages. I can see why they've gone down that route, and as a club fitter and just a general enthusiast of golf, I applaud that. But let's get one thing clear, ball speed is not going to change to swing speed. Your swing speed might go up with these drivers. They might make them lighter, they might make them more aerodynamic, so you could swing the head faster, but for ball speed to swing speed, impossible that is going to increase. Let's say it did increase, for example. I've been training for long drive long enough now that I know that 2 miles an hour is a great increase in ball speed, therefore going to gain you 6 to 8 yards. You hit that out of the heel or toe, you lose 12 miles an hour, or let's say 20% off the bat on your ball speed then and there. So let's say they even gave you 4 miles an hour, which is near on impossible, but can't speak, impossible by the way. They put it in the machine, they give you 4 miles an hour. Unless you hit it out the middle on a perfect swing plane, attack angle, so on and so on, you're not really going to see the big difference. What you are going to see the big difference is on the bad shots. When you do hit that heel, when you do hit that toe, and then out in the middle, on average, is your good shot and bad shots better? Are you going further on your bad shots? Are your good shots more consistent? That, for me, as a club fitter, is something that I am very interested in, and that is what I choose, or deem choosing, a driver that is best for your game, and one of the drivers that I'm more favoured to obviously fit for. That's why I've loved the Ping G400. That's just the way it is, and I would like to see which driver this year, whether the G410 stands up, the Callaway Maverick, the Cobra Speed Zone, whatever Mizuno bring out finally, and then obviously the TaylorMade Sim. That is why I'm excited to see what they do. Not how far they go, because they won't. They'll go higher, they'll spin less, but what is the most consistent driver for the general public? And I'm excited to see that, and then obviously deliver my results. So guys, there you have it. There is basically what's coming out this year. Obviously the G410 staying with Ping. Tyler's obviously released like 17 drivers last year, so you're not going to see anything new from them for a while. Obviously Mizuno to come out, Strixon, but let's talk about the main market share leaders. They're the big ones, and that's what they're bringing out. So guys, thank you ever so much for watching. Leave this video a like if you liked it. Leave that comment down below which one, if you had to choose one driver that you wanted, no matter the price, leave that down below as well, and I'll see you guys there.